today I thought we'd talk travel. Okay. So if you're watching right now, tell me your most recent trip. Your most recent trip. Where did you go? Okay. Where did you go? Whether it was a vacation, maybe even a staycation. That's okay. What's something recent that you did travel wise? Maybe it was just a long weekend. Maybe you flew somewhere. Maybe you took a cruise. What did you do? So let's chat in the comments and let me know. Yeah, just let me know if you're a traveler. Yeah, let me know if you're a traveler and let me know where you've been. Okay, I see Connecticut to visit family. Destin with daughter. Awesome. Leanne's leaving tomorrow for Lake Erie. That's going to be so much fun. Vicky is in St. John right now. Wow, Vicky, what time is it there? I wonder. Sally's camping right now. Awesome. Okay, so we know that travel's kind of a big thing, right? So here's my next question to you. All right, you've all gone and you've traveled and you've taken a trip here, there, or somewhere, right? How many of you take pictures while you're traveling? Yeah, how many of you take pictures while you're traveling? Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, how many of you take pictures while you're traveling? Of course you do. Of course you do. Why would you want to travel somewhere and not take pictures? And why do we take pictures? Yeah, we take pictures so that we can remember. We want to remember the details about our trip. We want to remember where we've been. We are memory keepers, okay? If you're taking pictures while you're traveling, you are a memory keeper. You want to save those memories. Tony's going to Disneyland with her grandkids in 3 weeks. Oh my gosh, that will be so much fun. You'll probably need a vacation after your vacation for that one. Yeah. So I think we all can agree that we take pictures when we travel. And it's because we're memory keepers. We want to remember those moments, right? We want to preserve that little time. We want to preserve that little moment in history, right? That time with our grandkids, that time with our family, that once in a lifetime trip, you know, those kinds of things. And so I'm the same way. I'm a memory keeper. I love, love, love to preserve my memories, and I do it through scrapbooking. And I know that scrapbooking has taken a hit. I know there was a time when scrapbooking was so popular and everybody was scrapbooking and everybody was doing all the things. And then I think it got overwhelming, right? I think it really got overwhelming. I think that scrapbooking, it was almost like we had too many well, there was too many things to choose from. We got overwhelmed with our supplies. We got overwhelmed by the amount of photos that we take because we are click happy, click, 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 because our phones now are fabulous cameras, right? They have fabulous cameras on them. So we're very click happy. We click, 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 click. It's not like in the past. It's not like 30 years ago or whenever, when you had a roll of film and maybe you had 24, you know, a 24, maybe a 36 count on that roll of film. You had to really be picky. You had to be picky and choosy about the pictures you took while you were on vacation, right? So I want to tell you that I still think scrapbooking is important. I still think that preserving your memories on a layout, putting them into an album, I think it's awesome. Now I know there are some digital scrappers out there. I think that's awesome too. I think it's good. I think it's great. I think as long as you're preserving your memories in some way, you should be doing that, right? Don't just take all these pictures and let them just stack up in your phone or on your laptop or wherever. Let's pick our favorite moments and let's put them into albums. I can tell you that flipping through an album is much different than looking at pictures on a phone or looking on a computer screen. Okay, so I realize you may not all be scrapbookers, and that's okay. But I just want to tell you why I am. I really love to preserve my memories, and I don't think it has to be hard. I don't think it has to be hard. I don't think it has to be overwhelming. And I think it can be really simple and fun. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. It can be very simple and fun. And you guys, this is why, this is really why the Page Builders Clubhouse was born. It really was brought about so that it's basically an online community of scrapbookers, memory keepers, right? Memory keepers. And our goal in the Page Builders Clubhouse is to quickly and easily create layouts that then you can put your photos on and preserve those stories and those memories. I feel like a photograph, you guys, is a one-way ticket to a memory. That's what it is for me. It just takes me right back, right? And so I just hate that the, some of the generations out there hate that we're losing this, that we're losing this process, right? So I've started the Page Builders Clubhouse 5 or 6 years ago. Actually, it's been around for quite a while. It's one of my oldest groups, actually. And so what we do in there, we're geared at using your own stash. And let me tell you why that's important. And we're going to make a layout. I'm going to make a travel layout here in just a second. We are geared at using your own stash. Okay, so what does that mean? That means like the layout I'm going to make today, after I make this layout, take pictures of it, and I create something called a blueprint guide. And that guide, that little guide, is going to tell you how many patterned papers you need and what sizes you need to cut them, how many sheets of cardstock you need, solid color cardstock, and how you need, the dimensions that you need to cut. Because the page builder guides, the beauty in them is you then can make your layout out of whatever you need. You're going to make it out of your own stash, right? Tony's going to Disney. She's going to need a lot of Disney layouts. No matter the layout that I make that week in the Page Builders Clubhouse, she can take that guide and use her Disney papers, and boom, boom, boom. She can get those Disney pictures on and get them scrapbooked quickly. Okay, so it really is lots of fun. We try to make it simple and easy. It's an online community of memory keepers, scrapbookers. It's a great group of people over there. We have, I think we're around, what do we have, Susan? Susan Law's on with me in the chat today. 240 or something. 240 people, something like that, in the group. And you not only are you going to get to see we do different series, we do all kinds of different tips, we do organizational, there's so much different aspects, but everything's geared towards the scrapbooker, the memory keeper. And you'll also have access to some of our past page builder guides and past workshop series and things like that. We're actually having summer scrap camp right now. It's going to end the end of July. And so the reason I'm doing a travel layout today is because in August, our focus is going to be travel. It's a perfect time. Our focus is going to be travel, making layouts that you could easily use and recreate out of your own papers, your own stash for that trip to the beach, right? For that cruise, for that camping trip, for that trip to Lake Erie, for that trip to Disneyland, whatever the trip is, because vacations can be overwhelming because you take a lot of photos, right? And one of the things, and I'm going to go ahead and start on this while we're chatting. One of the things about vacationing is we do tend to overtake. We overtake a lot of photos. We're trying to get just the right, look. We're trying to get everybody smiling. We're trying to get, all the things, capture all the things, all the moments. And the thing is that gets overwhelming. So one of the things that I kind of preach to our scrapbookers in our community over and over and over again is we don't have to scrapbook every single picture. You're going to scrapbook the highlights. You're going to scrapbook the most important photos, the ones that you think you have to remember. We're not just doing this for ourselves. We're doing it for future generations. What are they going to want to see? What are they going to want to look at, right? Is it, 100 pictures of the ocean? No, they don't want to see 100 pictures of the ocean. They want to see the people. They might want one beautiful shot of the ocean, maybe at sunset or sunrise. Um, and so I think, that's one thing we have to think about with travel is, yes, we want to document what we're seeing, but we don't need hundreds of pictures of it, right? We're going to pick out our favorites. We're going to pretend like we have that 24 count roll of film, that 36 count roll of film, and we're going to take out those those aha jaw-dropping moments, those moments that we want to focus on and always remember, right? So I like to do 12 by 12 pages. And I like to do double layouts. And the reason I do that is because I have a big family. If you guys don't know this already, my husband and I, we have 5 children. All of those 5 children, except for one, has started their own families. And so now we are blessed with 10 grandchildren. So we have a lot of people in the family. We have a lot of take a lot of pictures, all the things. So I tend to be a double page scrapbooker, 12 by 12. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just build this layout right here in front of you. And then you guys, I'm going to make a page builder guide for this. And we're going to post it we're going to drop it into a recap email because I want every single one of you, if you're not in the Page Builders Clubhouse, I want you to see what the page builder guides look like. I want you to give these a try, and use them with your own stash. It's $20 a month to be a member of the Page Builders Clubhouse. I'm just working on white cardstock, and I'm kind of making my own cute little background page here with just fun patterns of paper. I'm using paper from Echo Park. It's called Born to Travel. It's really cute. Look at the little cameras on here. Can you see the little arrows? It's super, super cute. So maybe somebody out there has never scrapbooked before, but wants to. Maybe somebody out there has scrapbooked, but got burned out. There's a lot of burned out scrapbookers out there. And if you're one of them, just go ahead and raise your hand today. It's okay to admit it. There's a lot of us have kind of gotten burned out at one time or another with scrapbooking. I'm going to pull this one down a little bit. And then there's some of you that absolutely love scrapbooking, right? You love it. You love memory keeping, but maybe you kind of get in a rut sometimes, right? Do you ever feel like you're in a rut? I do. I mean, and that's another reason to be in the community because if you feel like you're like putting down the pictures the same way over and over and over again, we have so much inspiration for you and ways to help you with your photos, with your memorabilia, all of those things to just kind of get you out of that creative rut. Okay. So look how cute this little strip is. Isn't that cute? All the little suitcases. It says, all my bags are packed. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to start just laying out this page number 1. I'm going to do it right here in front of you. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the supplies I like to use. I don't use tape runners. First off, I stopped using tape runners. I got tired of having to refill them all the time. Even the ATG guns with the big rolls, I don't use any of that anymore. I use my Scotch tacky glue here. It is acid free. It's safe. It won't hurt your photos. Okay. That's important for you to know. And it is so much more budget friendly. And it's easy to use. I kind of moderate. You don't need to squeeze the bottle a lot. We just need to put out a little bit of glue. The other reason that I have adapted now to using Scotch glue is, well, first off, kind of budget reasons. I can get a ton of layouts done with this, and I don't have to constantly change out the tape runners and all of that. But one of the reasons I use it also is because I got tired of my previous layouts falling apart. How many of you have struggled with that? I'd go in because I do a bunch of layouts. Obviously, I design them. I do a lot of them. And then I'll go back to them to put my photos on. And when I would get them back out, I would realize things were falling off. And what happens is those tape runners over time, with the air and everything, they start to dry out. The adhesive dries out. Even pop dots, foam tape, you know, some of that stuff will kind of dry out. And so I just got tired of having to fix them. I got tired of having to fix them. And things don't fall off when I use this. They are on there. Now, if you're using glue and your paper starts to kind of bubble, you're using too much. Okay. So I like these bottles. They have a nice little tip on them. You can really control the amount of glue that comes out. So they work really well. All right, so this is going to be kind of, I call this the bones. This is the bones of my layout. This is kind of the background here for my layout. And then I've got some cardstock pieces here. This is where I'll be putting photos. And nowadays it's awesome because we have I print a lot of my photos at home. I have a little selfie printer, SELPHY, selfie printer, and it keeps me from over printing too many photos. So I just kind of pick and choose my favorites from my phone, from my computer, and I just print them right there. If it's a travel, like if I'm on a trip or something, I may print a lot, and I usually will send those to maybe like Walmart or Shutterfly or, you know, somebody like that to print. But I have found that I usually, when I do that, I'm printing too many. I'm printing too many pictures. And again, we've kind of talked about this, right? We've been talking about this. I'm going to put these right here. I don't need to scrapbook all the photos, right? I need to scrapbook the highlights, the ones that I want to be sure I remember, that I want to go back and look at, that I think future generations will want to go back and look at, and so forth. So isn't this cute? The airplane, it says destination vacation. Isn't that so cute? So this is kind of how I'm going to lay this one out. And I want to put a little bit of ribbon on my layout here. So I'm going to kind of cover this little gap right here with some ribbon. Grab my scissors here. And most of the time when I'm putting on ribbon, you guys, I just use hot glue. I'm a crafter. I'm a maker at heart. So I usually just use craft glue. I mean, hot glue for like ribbons and buttons and stuff like that. But you can use your Scotch glue too. It just takes a little bit longer to set up. So I'm going to run a little piece of ribbon right across here. I just like adding some fun little accents, you know, from time to time. And then these mats will be my, where my photos will go. So the reason I like, you know, going ahead and cutting these is, and again, printing maybe at home, although you can resize your pictures and print them anywhere. But I love that I can choose. If I want to print a picture as a 4x6, I can. If I want to print a picture as a 3x4, I can, or a 4x4. We can print square photos now. You can get, even Walmart, places like that will do square photos for you now. So it's really nice. So I can, so like the key photos with the people, I can print larger, and maybe some of the other pictures that kind of tell the story, where we were, what we were doing, I can print those a little bit smaller. So it works out really, really well. All right, so I'm going to put these. So this is for sure going to be where my photo mats are going to be on this page. And then destination vacation, so cute. Now, a lot of scrapbook companies now are doing this, and they've been doing it for a while, and it's so fun. They print, I call them cuttables. It's like a whole sheet of cuttable pieces. So they're journal cards, they're title cards. You can use them for all kinds of things. I'm going to use this one as kind of my title card, and I'm going to pop it up. So I'm using some foam tape here. So this way I can add some dimension. Pop it up, and it'll look great under, it'll still, you know, just kind of add some interest and dimension under my page protector, which eventually that's where this will go, into a page protector and into the album. I call that putting them to bed. Now, when I use this foam tape or pop dots, I take a little squiggle of glue on here because, again, I don't want them falling. over time. I don't want them falling off over time. Okay. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to put it right about here. So that will be popped up. It's hard to see that on camera, but it is raised up. Okay. Now there's another little card here that I'm going to show you that was from a cut apart, you know, a cuttable piece of paper that has all these cards on it. So I cut it apart, cut apart. And then this one I thought would be cute as an embellishment. So I'm going to take my good old trusty little scissors here, my little detail cutting scissors, and I'm going to bubble cut around this. So I think scrapbooking embellishments have gotten really expensive. So I realized that I kind of wasn't using them as much as I should be. So I just don't really buy a lot of embellishments anymore, other than, you know, stuff that's already in my craft stash, you know, ribbon, buttons, things like that. So I use these little cards, and I cut them out to become my embellishments. And then a lot of like the collection kits nowadays comes with a sticker sheet, a big 12 by 12 sticker sheet that you can use. And I bubble cut these. So bubble cutting isn't quite like fussy cutting. Fussy cutting, I'd be cutting right on the color and all of that. Bubble cutting is where I'm kind of cutting around everything. It's going to have kind of a white highlight here. Do you see that? I've bubble cut it. So that way I don't have to be super great at my cutting skills, right? Your eye's going to go to the color anyway. So I just bubble cut where there's a little bit of a border and a background going around. And I'm going to pop this one up too. So I'm going to use, again, I like to use foam tape because I can cut it to whatever size I need. But there are things that are called pop dots out there that are, some are square, some are round, but it's the same thing, double-sided foam, just so we can add some dimension to our layouts. This line is really cute. Born to Travel by Echo Park. It's really cute. So you would have all of the dimensions to cut this for yourself, to create this for yourself. And then you're going to see kind of the creative ways that I use some of the cuttables. And then you can go in and look at what you've got on hand, right? Look at your scrapbook embellishments. Look at your paper. What could I cut out of my paper, right? What little Disney Mickey head could I cut out, right? If I was doing a Disney page. Okay, so look how cute that is. All the bags. We all tend to take pictures, especially if we're traveling on an airplane. We have a tendency to take pictures with our luggage, sometimes at the ticket counter. Sometimes you'll take pictures on the plane as you're getting off the plane, you know, so this is a fun. And then maybe even throw in some pictures of your destination, right? Wherever it is that you're headed, can kind of start to tell the story. And then I'm going to add a little more ribbon to this. Ribbon's just fun to use. Some of you, you know, I think of ribbon, I think of washi tape, right? You could use washi tape. And I'm going to cut a little flag end in this. This is a chevron ribbon already, so I'm just going to cut myself a little flag end here. You see that? Really simple. And then let's bring a little bit of ribbon kind of right in here. Cute. Just brings in another little texture, right? A little bit of texture, a little bit of color. Now I'm going to add a couple little buttons just to pull the color around the page. So I'm going to put down an orange button and a red button. I love buttons, and I've got oodles of them. Isn't that cute, right? Super easy, super simple. I have a big photo, two smaller photos right here, right? So that'll be perfect. Let's work on the companion page now, okay? As I told you, I like to do double page layouts. And I mean, how cute is this? Look at the airplanes. So, so cute. And I have a tendency, not always, but sometimes I like to ink the edges of my paper. I use chalk ink for that. And it looks really great on the edges of the paper. It creates, again, some dimension. They come in all colors. I'm using the color called Coal Miner right now. I don't think I inked that. I think I just inked, I didn't ink this one either. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the only one. Well, I think I'll ink this one too. This is going to be my little journal card. That'll look cute with some ink on it. And it's really just that fast. It's just really that fast putting that on there. Okay, so you can see that most paper is double-sided, which is great. You can choose the sides you want to see. Also, when I'm putting my glue on, you guys, I don't put it all the way to the edge because I know when I lay my paper down onto my 12 by 12 cardstock here, I know when I do this, that glue is going to spread. Okay. Now, if you do get a little too much glue and it comes out, I don't want you to worry. You can just kind of clean it up. It does, it's white, but it will dry clear. Okay. It will dry clear. So you don't have to worry about that. All right, let's get some more glue here. See how fast that is. I'm going to put this down at the bottom. That's where I put the other one down at the bottom on the other page. Okay. I like to make them coordinate. Now I have to remember how I had this. I think I had these going this way. And by the way, also something we say in the Page Builders Clubhouse, just so you know, is that here's what we say. Photo mats are merely a suggestion. Just because I put my photo mats down like this does not mean you have to. If you have more like vertical pictures, we call portrait pictures, well, then you're just going to change your orientation, right? You're going to change it up however you need to. Okay. You'll be able to see this is kind of my area for my photos, right? So you can fit your photos in there any way that you want. You can cut them to any, trim them, crop them is our term for it. Trim them down to whatever size that you want them to be. And again, I love that I can, I'm going to go ahead and put this down with foam tape because I want this little, look how cute this is. Wake me when we land. So cute. I want this to look like it's kind of like a pocket. All right. That. Sorry, I'm trying to go quickly here. It's not really going to be a pocket, but I'm going to have it popped up so it kind of looks like a pocket. We can do pockets. Yes, we can do pockets. I'm going to have this one kind of coming up out of it. Pockets on pages are great because, especially with travel, because you do have brochures, ticket stubs, you know, just things that you may want to save. Okay, so now that's popped up. So as members of the Page Builders Clubhouse, the ideas are already there for you. You just have to cut the pieces of your paper and put them together. Print your photos, put them on. No more what we call blank page syndrome, where you're just sitting there staring at your photos, trying to decide, you know, what are you going to do this time, right? Like, how are you going to put your pages on? What are you going to do? All right. And then on this piece, I think I'm going to put some of the ribbon again, but I'm going to do it up there. I'll show you here just a second. So it'll look cute. I like for double page layouts to look like they're married, to look like they go together. So using some of the, you know, this paper with the airplanes, it coordinates with this card right here. This is on the bottom of both pages. Just pulling in the colors. The cardstock color from this kind of matches this patterned paper, all the things. And most of the time what I do with my photo is I trim it down so that I can still see some of my photo mat. Okay, so the mat kind of makes a frame around the photo. And I think I cut, I'll show you what that looks like, just in case there's somebody out here that's never scrapbooked before. So we're going to pretend this is a photo. Okay, so I've cropped, which means trim. I've trimmed down my photo so that when I put it down, it's going to have the blue kind of framing it out. Okay, just really helps the picture pop and really makes it a focal point. I can do journaling right here. It's important to put down kind of some of the details, the things we want to remember, where we were, what year was it, you know, all of those types of things. All right, and I'm not quite done. I have another card I'm going to do some little cutting on. I think this one's really cute. It says, life is short and the world is wide. So I'm going to take that same ribbon now, because again, I want it to kind of coordinate, and I'm going to do kind of a loose knot. Just kind of a loose knot here. And again, I think I'll flag end the ends of the ribbon. I kind of do a little snip down the center of the ribbon, because I'm so bad when I fold ribbon to do this, y'all. I always cut it the wrong way. So I just do a little snip down the center, and then from the corner to the top of the slit, and corner to the top of the slit. And then I'm going to put this right up here on top of this little tag here. And that's going to tie my blue ribbon to this page. It's so fun. Scrapbooking is so fun. Don't you, those of you that's used to scrapbook, don't you remember how much fun it used to be? It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It really doesn't. Okay, so now you can kind of see, and I'll show both of these in a minute. So this is the first page we did. Now we have the second page. And I'm going to put just a little piece of ribbon right along the bottom of this card. Cut it to fit. And again, I'm going to cover up this one little arrow down here. That's okay. I still have plenty of room to journal. And if you're not really a fan of journaling, then just put the facts. Put the who, what, when, where, you know, that kind of thing. You don't have to be a storyteller to scrapbook. You don't have to be able to write, you know, all the things. It could just be the simple facts, right? The who, what, when, where. Some people like to write and journal more than others. Now, remember how we did the little red and orange button on the other side? So I'm going to put a couple of those right here. So we're going to do orange. And yeah, I think that, yep. And red. Okay, so again, just tying some cute little elements, right, to each side, each of the pages. And now I have this piece. Now, obviously, I don't really have a lot of room for a big square, but again, I can come in and I can cut. This is really cute. It's got a green backpack and a cute little compass. So I'm going to create, again, my own embellishment just by bubble cutting on this card. And then we're going to figure out where we want to put it. I'm going to lay the layouts together and make my screen just my downward camera. So let's do that. Let's see how this is going to look together. All right, give me just a second. Here we go. Okay, let me make some room. So now you can kind of see what my layout looks like. right next to each other. So this is what it will open up to in the album. Can y'all see that okay? Sorry for the mess over here. And it appeared there, it's not so crooked. So now I have this one last little piece. So I have to think, okay, where can I put this, right? Do I want to put it maybe up here? Do I want to put it maybe over here? I kind of like it over here. I think that's kind of cute. I like that all of our photos are kind of right in here, right? Center stage. And so now we're kind of embellishing is happening here. Embellishing is happening here. I don't want to cover up my details. So I'm kind of thinking it looks cute right here. Now it is, this little part is kind of covering up my photo mat. That's where my photo will be. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pull it off the edge of the page. Hang on. I'm going to pop it up again. I think it'll look cute popped. Take off the back film here. Isn't this cute? So, yeah, I wasn't sure if I would make a page builder guide or not, but now I've decided I'm going to. I'm definitely going to do a page builder guide for this. So I'm going to pull this over here. It's okay if it overlaps my photo just a little bit, because I remember I'm going to trim the photo down just a bit. Well, I'm going to turn this over now. And I'm just going to cut that to the edge of the base page. And there we go. Look how cute that looks. See? So I was still able to fit that in. I think it looks darling. Let me pop that on top of my ribbon. There we go. Isn't that cute? Destination vacation. This will be so cute. Now I want you to kind of picture this. Again, we had everybody say a recent trip they just went on, right? So I think it was Sally said she went camping. She could do the same layout with camping paper, right? Tony said Disney. This same layout could be Disney paper. Maybe you just had, instead of travel, let's think about wedding. Maybe you need to use this as a wedding layout. You can use wedding papers, whatever colors were used at the wedding. A new grandbaby, right? So that's the beauty of the Page Builders, the Page Builder Guide, okay, the blueprint guide, the Page Builder Guide, because you're going to know exactly what to cut your papers, and then you're going to be able to put together the same thing in the theme that you need, okay, in the theme that you need.